20 years. That's how long Xbox has been with us. And like you, this is a moment I always look forward to. I love seeing the new games, crossing my fingers for my favorites to return, hoping for a few surprises. Most of all, though, I love seeing everyone around the world come together and celebrate what games mean to all of us. And I think, this past year, they've meant even more. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for the support you give us and one another. Xbox is turning 20. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the friendships we've had that whole time. At Bethesda, we believe video games do one thing better than anything else. They transport us. Through art and technology, there's real magic when you step into a new world and can make it your own. We've traveled the worlds of Elder Scrolls, of Fallout, and now, for the first time in over 25 years, we're creating a new universe with Starfield. Set hundreds of years in our future, it's an epic about hope, our shared humanity, and answering our greatest mystery. It's a game we've dreamt of playing, and it wasn't until now that we have the hardware, the technology, and the team who's hard at work at home to make that dream a reality. We're excited to finally share our first in-game teaser and something to look forward to.
Constellation Starship Frontier, we have you on scanners. Performing remote systems check. Helium-3 tanks checked. Seals are intact. We are still go.
They say, the wonder is, not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we have measured it. You're part of Constellation now. Part of our family. What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
We reach your constellation.
This is all we've been working towards.
Jemison route looks good.
We've come to the beginning of humanity's final journey.
Prepare for departure. Graviton loop array spool check. Your space lane is clear.
That's why we're here.
Main engines go. Ignition.
To discover what's out there.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Awesome to share with you for the very first time one of the most anticipated games in the world from Todd Howard and the team at Bethesda Game Studios. A groundbreaking game, and yes, it's exclusive. Welcome to the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase. I am so excited and proud to be here today celebrating games, because although it's been an incredibly tough year, I am grateful that games have been such an important source of joy and connection. We are committed to forging the next era of gaming, conjuring worlds never before possible, unlocking play across all devices, and delivering the power of games to everyone. And now, we get to share that quest with Bethesda, not just as partners, but as one team, united in bringing the very best games to more people everywhere. So today, we get to reveal more of what's to come. We have an amazing show, 30 titles, 27 in Xbox Game Pass, and of course, Every single console title you'll see today is optimized for Xbox Series X and S, offering next-gen performance, speed, and features. We get to work with the best studios on Earth. Next is something truly riveting. The latest entry in the haunting and evocative franchise created by GSC Game World, Stalker 2. Coming first to Xbox Series consoles and PC. This will be a true next-gen experience, targeting 4K resolution and ray tracing. Let's take a look at what you'll get to play when it launches next year.
Как спали.
Ну, чё там?
Готово.
Ну и пошли они нахрен.
Спасибо тебе. Ты многим сталкерам жизнь спас.
Ну, давай, малюй картину маслом. Вот поэтому я ни в какие разборки и не лезу. Не хочу пулю поймать.
Ну, не знаю. Между аномалией и маслиной я уж лучше пулю выберу.
Я прям вижу красоту эту. Не первый год в зоне, вроде примелькалась уже, а каждый день удивляет.
Зона надоесть не может. Говорят, ты знаешь, где вход в фундамент.
Узнаешь мотив? Слышал? Вот это культура! А ты одно и то же по кругу лобаешь.
Сам же просишь. У меня музучилище, если что.
О, месье, прошу прощения. Может, вам к ученым? Профессура. Они вам лабораторию найдут.
Да пошел ты.
Зря ты так с друзьями. Ты же его на вылазки таскаешь.
Чего-чего, а дружбы в зоне я точно не встречал.
Это верно.
Он мучился?
Нет.
Это хорошо. Он этого не заслужил.
А пулю заслужил. Жаль, что ты так с ним поступил.
Мне тоже. Считаешь, я не думал, как обойтись без его смерти? Она не могла быть свободна, пока он жил. Зато теперь посмотри на нее. Нет, Скиф, я не отдам ее никому. Зона дала мне жизнь, новую жизнь. Жизнь, которую я готов вернуть, если потребуется. Я буду защищать ее. Охренеть.
Похоже, пора.
И куда ты теперь?
В Припять. Нужно с ним поговорить.
Удачной охоты, сталкер.
We're surviving here. Rebuilding.
Surviving's not enough. We've got to fight.
No, we don't need to do anything. All right, when was the last time you saw written in any numbers?
All of my best friends like to go and get up. And they talk about all the lies they never got to read.
Hang in there, Holly.
Get high with your best friends.
No rest for the wicked.
Let's go!
Through here! Come on! God, I love Mondays. Another day in paradise.
Just like all of my
Home run!
get high with your best friend.
Buckle up, buttercups.
We've got one shot. Let's make it count.
Over here!
An ill wind blows from beyond the horizon. A new danger is coming on the tides. And the one who might stop this ruin, trapped for all forever in the sea of the damned. Now to save the pirate life, You must start by saving the life of one.
Oh! Didn't realize we had company. Captain Jack Sparrow. But I suspect you already knew that.
Because of the treasure Jack stole, a darkness followed him here. And if it's not stopped, this world will sink into shadow.
This sea holds many secrets.
Ah, a new body at last.
All I can do is show you the way.
From what I hear of this so-called Sea of Thieves, it's nothing but cursed crews, bloodthirsty mermaids, a legion of dead, angry pirates. Ah, yes. And now, one Davy Jones. Hello! Well, I believe that now is the perfect time to use these cannons.
A world without the eternal abyss. Is a world that refuses to face the truth. Nothing lasts forever. Destroy that!
I don't suppose, by chance, there's a second one of those? The Sea of Thieves, eh? Bring me that horizon.
Hey, how's it going?
Let's do this!
Reputation is everything. If a Yakuza shows weakness, he's done.
Time to call a friend! Order up!
What the?
Happy birthday! Incoming fire!
Attention all squads. The Russian troops are falling back. Do whatever you can to secure the sector. We pushed them back, but not far enough. Do not let them regroup.
So, how was your day?
Oh, you know.
I have something to share.
What is this, my birthday?
We're having a baby.
Police, you're under arrest for your father's murder 8 years ago.
What's going on?
Shut up! You know what this is.
You've been lying to me all this time?
I should never have told you.
I'm out of patience.
What? I know I say this a lot, but I love you.
I say this a lot too, but back at you.
Approaching the mother load. I can't believe I'm really here. Psychonauts headquarters. Look at all these gadgets.
The mind is the final frontier of humanity.
I'm ready for anything.
Time for justice!
The fate of the free-thinking world is in your hands.
I'm afraid that means the dead letter office for you.
The mission is falling apart. A psychonaut must always remember how to roll with it. What am I doing?
This is a mission about the fate of the world. Can you do that?
Yes, if I can find some bacon.
I'm going to ignore that last part.
This is usually the moment when I say hello and welcome to the Bethesda E3 Showcase. We love that we can share the stage with Xbox this year, and whether you've known Bethesda for 35 years or are just getting to know us, we couldn't be happier to bring you the latest on your favorite games. We started this showcase with my good friend Todd Howard, who gave you a first look at Starfield. Along with Bethesda Game Studios, all of our teams are continuing to work on the projects that have been in development since well before we joined the Xbox family. So rest assured, the games you've been expecting and hoping for are still in the works. And today, we're bringing 10 more titles to Game Pass for a total of 30 Bethesda games. That includes several id Software games, like the award-winning Doom Eternal. If you're looking for another reason to play it, Doom Eternal will be optimized for Xbox Series X and S on June 29th. Powered by id Tech, this next-gen upgrade will be free for everyone who owns Doom Eternal. And on Series X, it will offer improved visuals at 60 FPS with ray tracing, a 4K mode, and an optional performance mode up to 120 FPS. Or maybe you're in the mood for an RPG, like Skyrim, which marks its 10th anniversary this November. We can't celebrate it without you, so share your favorite Skyrim memories, stories, artwork, and more on Skyrim10.com. Or explore an ever-changing, post-apocalyptic wasteland in Fallout 76. Everything you love about Fallout games: custom camp building, rich storylines, warring factions, unique characters, places to discover, you'll find it all here. In fact, Fallout 76 is now one of the most popular games on Game Pass thanks to an incredibly welcoming and collaborative community. Here's a look at what's coming next in Fallout 76.
Brotherhood of Steel-Armed Guardians of Human Civilization. Fort Atlas is safe. It came at a great cost.
The Brotherhood must stand united. The super mutant threat takes priority. This proves more than anything the need for our justice.
You are splitting our forces, Shin. The most important thing is finding everyone that has gone missing and returning them home.
So it comes to this. I thought you understood what that insignia meant. You are no paladin of the Brotherhood.
I set this plan in motion, and I am the only one who can stop it.
The Brotherhood of Steel must protect the future of Appalachia and of the world. Your righteous crusade has gone too far.
While it may seem that we are fractured, I believe that we are now stronger than ever. This is a choice that can never be undone.
What the hell was that? Expedition Squad Delta, report, over. Squad Delta, what's going on out there? Come on, this isn't funny.
I know you can hear me.
The Wasteland isn't the only open-world playground with an amazing community. The Elder Scrolls Online from ZeniMax Online Studios has now surpassed 18 million players and shows no signs of slowing down. Right now, our players are enjoying the new Blackwood chapter, part of the Gates of Oblivion year-long adventure. We've got a lot more to come in ESO, including the conclusion to this epic story later this fall with ESO Deadlands. And with the release of ESO Console Enhanced this Tuesday, the game will deliver a true native experience optimized for the Series X and S.
It's a new world with new rules. Now, nothing is off the table. Winning this battle will take a new breed of fighter. Wait.
here.
Try and stop me.
This holiday marks the 20th anniversary of Xbox and the 20th anniversary of Halo. To our millions of passionate fans, thank you.
We wouldn't be here without all of you.
Our goal has always been to bring players together, and for the first time, we're thrilled to offer our entire multiplayer experience to all players across Xbox and PC with no barriers. Halo Infinite Multiplayer will be free to play and invite more of you than ever before to become a Spartan hero. I'm excited to be here with Joseph Staten, the creative director of Halo Infinite. From helping craft the original Halo Combat Evolved to leading the fan favorite Halo 3 ODST, Joseph is a Halo visionary. It is so great to have him back with Halo.
Thank you, Bonnie. And hey, everybody. For us, and I hope many of you, Halo has always been about heroism and wonder, about fighting to keep humanity safe against impossible odds in a beautiful and mysterious sci-fi world. This is just one part of the Zeta Halo ring, the largest, most wide-open environment we've ever built, and we can't wait for you to explore it. The heart of Halo is Spartan 117, the Master Chief. In the next chapter of the Chief's story, you'll face his greatest challenge yet, but you're not alone in the fight.
Oh, the main batteries are shut down. We're stuck out here. You have one bullet against an entire army. What can you do on your own?
I told you. It's enough.
So I see.
I need you to understand. There's not much time. If you knew how you were going to die, how would you live your life differently? How would you live your life
Where is Cortana?
The rogue AI known as Cortana is gone. She's been deleted.
How? By you?
Of course not. Did you hit your head or something? Don't you remember? My instructions were to enter this installation, imitate Cortana, and lock her down for retrieval. Yours were to take her back to the Infinity for deletion. So if it wasn't you... Okay then. There's something else. On successful deployment, my deletion routine was supposed to complete. Still here.
Good.
Good.
Something stopped your deletion. We need to find out why.
But this wasn't the mission.
The missions changed. They always do.
Are you sure?
Of course, you can't have a Halo game without multiplayer. And on Xbox Series X, you'll be able to enjoy Infinite's multiplayer action at up to 120 frames per second. Finally, I'm very happy to announce that Halo Infinite's first free-to-play multiplayer season and Infinite's story-driven campaign will launch together this holiday.
A new day is upon us. A new generation built to fight. Together, we are unstoppable! Are you ready?
No scope.
Big shot.
Killing spree. Double kill.
Hello, let's do some damage. Skewer acquired.
Grapple check.
Claim the enemy flag. Return it to base. Ordnance drop inbound. The flag is ours. Please call at your earliest convenience.
Now, show me what you can do.
Evil has survived. A dark figure wanders in the east. He must be stopped. At all costs.
your greatest moment.
These things, where do they come from?
From all of us. From what we do to him.
Can you stop it?
I don't know. But he's my brother. And I would die for him.
It rings every hour, señor presidente.
Hola, fascista.
I recognize that voice. Let me ask you a question. When I am dead and Yara is burning, what exactly is your plan? Hold hands, sing songs around the fire?
Sure, I know just the song.
Time you learn about resolver, Danny. To take down Castillo, a guerrilla needs the right tool for the right job.
Keep talking.
It's a stealth operation. I got you covered. Taking out a high-value target? I have just what you need. You wanna blow shit up? Juan Cortez at your service. Everyone in Yara saw that shit. What? Wait a second. Who brought the rooster? Hey, whatever you need to get the job.
It goes about as well as you'd expect a military group led by a young idealistic man to go, which is to say badly. Corruption quickly spreads within Ul'dah and the Crystal Braves, and the Sultana of Ul'dah is assassinated during a celebratory banquet. The murder is pinned on the Scions, and they're forced to escape the city, but with heavy losses. With only the Warrior of Light and Alpha Node remaining, the Scions seek revenge in Ishgard, a snowy city-state typically closed off to outsiders, officially kicking off the events of Final Fantasy XIV's first expansion, Heaven's Ward. Thanks to the assistance of ally and all-around great guy Orshifant, the Warrior of Light is able to find refuge in Ishgard. But as it goes with heroes, it doesn't take long for the Scions to become embroiled in Ishgard's political issues and their war with the dragons, the Dragon Song War. It's soon revealed that this classist, religiously ran city-state was built on a pile of lies and that humans betrayed the dragons, causing the Dragon Song War in the first place. You lose Orshifant, take down the corrupt leader of Ishgard and the most elite of the Ishgardian Knights, Heaven's Ward, opening Ishgard's eyes to a more peaceful future.
For the future of Eorzea.
For the future of Eorzea!
There were Ascians involved again as well. Don't worry, you killed them. Also, the Sultana is fine. She only faked her death at the banquet, so no hard feelings. With the truth about the Dragon Song War revealed, Ishgard works to make a lasting peace with the dragons, with the previous Ishgardian leader's son, Amarek, leading the talks. However, there is reluctance on both sides to put their hatred aside after centuries of violence. Tensions reach a breaking point when the dread worm Nidhogg, the revenge-crazed dragon that declared war on humans long ago, is revived. With no small amount of effort, the Warrior of Light defeats Nidhogg and opens the way for Amarek to finally open the path to peace. But there isn't just trouble in Ishgard, as the Warriors of Darkness appear in Eorzea hellbent on killing the Warrior of Light. The Warriors of Darkness are the obvious counters to the Warrior of Light and came from another dimension where their world is overwhelmed with the power of light that threatens to destroy it with a flood of ethereal energy. Minfilia, who was originally lost during the frantic escapes from Ul'dah, returns as an envoy of Hydaelyn and goes with the Warriors of Darkness to stop the flood.
Minfilia.
There's no time to ponder more about the Warriors of Darkness either, as a revolutionary group seeks to free the Eorzean city-estate of Alamigo from Garlean rule. Frustrated with the Eorzean alliances in action, they dress up as Alliance military and attack the Garleans directly, forcing both sides' hands. During this battle, one of the Scions dies, another isn't who she seems to be, and Final Fantasy's next expansion, Stormblood, officially begins. With Eorzea now embroiled with the Garlean Empire in a war for Alamigo, the forces led by Rauban, the right hand of the Sultana of Ul'dah, and Lys, one of the Scions who was born in Alamigo, attempt to push forward and retake the country. However, they're met with a downtrodden population and a devastating defeat at the hands of Xenos, son of the Garlean Empire and an all-around not great guy. The Scions surmise that if they're able to liberate another part of the world under Garlean rule, they'll be able to raise morale. So they head to the faraway land of Doma, find and convince the son of the former Doman Lord Hyen to take back the throne and overthrow the Garlean presence in the area. You return to Alamigo, and as word of the successful campaign at Doma reaches the Eorzean army, morale is raised and they begin retaking the country. After a supposedly final battle with Xenos, the Warrior of Light wins the day and frees the country from its chains. As Doma and Alamigo work to rebuild, a startling discovery is made. Xenos is alive after all, miraculously surviving, slicing his own neck open. Impressive. As the Eorzean alliance tries to prepare for the Garleans' renewed assault on the land, the Scions begin mysteriously falling into comas after hearing a voice of unknown origin. The remaining Scions learn that those who fall into a coma have had their souls taken to another dimension. Meanwhile, the voice continues to plague the Scions and the Warrior of Light even on the battlefield, causing distractions and headaches in an almost deadly encounter with the reanimated Xenos. Becoming more present in the Warrior of Light's mind, the mysterious voice explains that this fight won't matter, as another calamity is coming if the Warrior of Light doesn't come to their dimension and save them, which is kicking off Shadowbringers, the latest expansion. The Warrior of Light travels to the First, an alternate dimension where the world was almost destroyed 100 years ago from an overabundance of light. The Crystal Exarch, a powerful yet enigmatic mage who summoned you and the Scions to this dimension, explains that while the Flood was stopped by the Warriors of Darkness 100 years ago, the First is still on the verge of destruction. If the First is swallowed by the light, this will cause another calamity in the Scions' home dimension, so it must be stopped. The Crystal Exarch would prefer his own world not get destroyed too, so it's a win-win for everyone, really. To save the First, the Warrior of Light must become the Warrior of Darkness and bring darkness back to the world literally and figuratively to rebalance the ethereal scales. You're also hunted by the ghost of the leader of the Warriors of Darkness, Ardbert. It happens.
What? Did you just... You can hear me?
Along the way, the Scions are repeatedly visited by Emmett Selk, one of the most powerful Ascians and general orchestrators behind many of the series' conflicts. He implies that the battle between good and evil isn't all as it seems, and the Ascians are trying to return the world to its original whole form. You, as the Warrior of Darkness, eventually bring the Night back to the First, but in doing so, threaten to become a monstrous Sin-Eater yourself. The Crystal Exarch tries to fix this, but Emmett Selk stops him, leaving the Warrior of Darkness, that's you, in a dangerous position. Eventually, though, Ardbert's ghost saves the Warrior of Darkness, and they're able to defeat Emmett Selk and bring the night sky back to the First.
Remember that we once lived.
Congratulations, you're now caught up on the main story beats of Final Fantasy XIV. It's an MMO, so the plot of this long-running RPG is ever-changing, and there are plenty of side stories and crossover content to discover, but now you're caught up on the plot, and you'll be mostly ready for Endwalker's release later this year. Now, I have a near raid to get to, whatever that means. For plenty more Final Fantasy XIV, 15, 16, and whatever they make after that content, you're already in the right place, IGN.
I'm seeing some really strange shit down here. The fuck?
Now that I've had time to fully blast my way through Outriders, it's time for our final review. So first off, thanks for your patience. Now, People Can Fly's gritty, blood and guts take on the co-op looter-shooter RPG genre definitely delivers great action that's kicked up a notch by impressive sci-fi superpowers, some cool world design, and a pretty satisfying loot grind. At the same time, an occasionally clunky interface, some persistent bugs, and a messy story make it seem less like a big-budget science fiction epic and more like a guilty pleasure Sci-Fi Channel original series. Outriders' story makes decent use of its recognizable sci-fi tropes for when deep space colonization goes wrong, but the script often takes its grim, dark self too seriously. Dialogue and voice acting bounce between being so hard-boiled it's borderline camp and just being downright cringeworthy.
Sounds crazy. Good thing I like crazy.
And that can sure undermine the few moments that could have evoked some genuine empathy.
You must have lost people.
Yeah. We all did.
That said, the overarching story in Unexpectedly Hostile Alien World is interesting enough to keep things moving, and there are some genuinely intriguing twists as it progresses, even if their payoffs are somewhat underwhelming. Outriders is at its best when you're blasting your way through hordes of bad guys with a couple of friends. Gunfights are frenzied affairs that leave battlefields literally coated with blood, and there's something morbidly hilarious about seeing a whole-ass ribcage rolling through a skirmish like a bony tumbleweed. What's particularly impressive is that even though you'll likely outgrow its cover mechanics as you progress, this delightfully chaotic action is just as entertaining at the 3rd level as it is at the 30th. Sure, the combat scenarios become fairly repetitive, especially after you've played more than a few of Outriders' endgame challenge missions that follow its 30-odd hour campaign, but the combination of sadistically gratifying superpowers and destructive weaponry makes sure that it's always good fun, and doubly so when you're with friends. I genuinely can't remember the last game that could make me cackle as hard as when my earthbending Devastator combos a gravity leap with the Trickster stasis bubble. Like, just look at that! Each of the 4 classes has strengths, weaknesses, and skill sets familiar to class-based action games. Though while there are a few skills and equipables that allow for some team healing and buffs, here they're all primarily focused on dealing damage. That uniform focus on damage output may be a turnoff for anyone who really loves to play a capital S support class, but the fact that any class can reduce the opposition to a sticky red paste allows everybody to safely go it alone if they want. Though I'll say again that it is far more enjoyable to gun down hordes of monsters and space bandits with friends. Human enemies you'll face are fairly limited, ranging from run-of-the-mill riflemen to Russian berserkers, but they provide enough tactical variety to demand some quick thinking and strategy. Of course, we're not alone. As you explore more of the planet's interesting and diverse wilderness, Outriders trots out some really cool monsters. From the variations on fodder-level mutants to the larger beasts that look like somehow even grosser and meaner takes on something out of Half-Life, the encounters designed around them are fun shakeups from the rain of bullets you find against human enemies. What's unfortunate is that despite the cool designs, the capital B boss battles are some of the least engaging fights Outriders has to offer. That 5-story tall street shark looks awesome, but the whole shoot the big thing outside the arena and avoid being smashed by its hand concept feels a little played out. Similarly, while some of the endgame missions do a fun job of tying up loose storylines, others just feel like harder reskins of earlier boss fights, and that's rather anticlimactic after you've spent an additional 10 or 15 post-credit hours grinding up your gear level to reach them. The stuff that falls out when you kill those guys doesn't exactly revolutionize the loot grind, but it at least offers some great looking options. Notable inclusions like the double gun or legendary tier weapons that look like they're carved out of some monster's ribcage give the otherwise mostly standard assortment of weapons some flavor. Not to mention what are easily my favorite video game shotguns since Doom. But the real good stuff comes as you find and build better gear. The crafting system simplifies the process of modding your gear compared to other loot-heavy adventures I could name, and the variety of easy-to-swap mods offers a lot of flexibility to adjusting your build. Granted, the loot grind can be a bit frustrating if you're trying to blitz your way through it, but the level of customization on hand as you progress is a tinkerer's dream come true. Basic armor mods, for example, provide buffs to your active abilities. You might boost the damage of your Trickster's temporal blade, or make it so your Devastator can turn 2 bad guys into shish kebabs instead of 1. Higher level gear lets you add higher tier mods to your library rather than having to build them individually, as well as gear with multiple slots. That allows you to do things like take a gun that explodes frozen enemies into icy shrapnel for AoE damage and add cryo rounds so it freezes them and blows them up in one go, or pair a gun that regenerates your health on every kill with an armor mod that gives you bonus damage when you heal. But what's frustrating about this system is that because I was routinely changing up my gear set as I progressed, I constantly had to return to base camp to fiddle with my mod loadout. You can't do that on the go, and the crafting UI is not great. Outriders is far from the only game to have this issue, but it's still frustrating to constantly bounce back and forth between the crafting menu and your inventory screen for lack of a decent sort compare function, especially with a mandatory NPC interaction in between every single time. This can be especially irksome when you run into progress choke points. Finding better gear requires playing on the highest available world tier, which are Outriders' 15 difficulty levels. The catch is that you lose tier XP needed to unlock the next one every time you die. So you have to either play tediously slowly if you're constantly optimizing your build, or lower the world tier at the cost of loot quality. This eventually became less of an issue for me, but making that jump from tier 6 to tier 7 took forever. It's also less frustrating once you reach Outriders' endgame, since all the necessary merchants end up in one place, though it's replaced by having to constantly juggle resource and currency types by jumping between your inventory, then to a vendor, then to another vendor after that, and then back to your crafting station to upgrade your gear. And once you do reach the point in the endgame where semi-regular legendary drops occur, the cost to upgrade or improve your preferred gear is high enough to require its own grind for disposable loot. Thankfully, I found a build that let me punch well above my weight class to grab better drops, but not everyone's going to be so lucky. Outriders also has its fair share of technical issues, from bizarre idiosyncrasies like cutscenes for opening doors or an unfortunately laborious fast travel system, to some more troublesome persistent bugs. Enemies are often able to shoot through cover, abilities occasionally don't work properly, weapon and armor mods sometimes just turn off, and crashes are still semi-frequent. Now those can be annoying, but I am glad to see that the most egregious issues seem to be behind us. Servers are mostly stable, and the nasty bug that was wiping out people's inventories has, as of this review, apparently been patched out.
If you see him, you gotta tell him I have nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Outriders offers some genuinely great sci-fi action, alongside some really interesting world and creature design that I'd love to see more of. Its mostly satisfying take on RPG loot progression is well worth putting up with a lackluster story, a few clunky interfaces, and some lingering technical issues. Outriders is the good kind of grind, especially if you're into gooifying your enemies with a couple of friends. For more on Outriders, check out our cross-platform performance review or our Outriders guide for tips on crafting and what to do once you reach the endgame. For everything else, stick with IGN.
Goodbye! Victory is
What
ours!
have we here?
Let us pry out their weakness.
Splendid! Forward!